What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Another video talking about ESports Boxing Club, and we done one of these just before episode 2 of the fight announcement, where I done 25 or no, 27, I think, fighters, where I say 27 fighters that I think will be in the game. And while some people were a little bit underwhelmed because episode 1 was so mind-blowing, whereas episode 2 felt a little bit lackluster, even though there were still some great additions, some great fighters, there wasn't the huge mind-blowing names that were in episode 1. The same as episode 2. Now, with episode 3 maybe a week away on Sunday, most likely. It could be a week away, it could be 2 weeks, it could be Saturday, it could be Sunday, it could be Friday. Fuck knows what Todd Grisham has got planned. Honestly, none of us really seem to know. And while I done 25 plus last time before fight episode 2 was announced, I got Marcus Maidana and Clarissa Shields correct, which was pretty impressive, even though I aimed relatively high. If you want to go watch the video, if you haven't already, just in case you think, oh my god, how could he not name so-and-so? The video will be linked in the description, so feel free to go and check it out just before you comment, like, you know, why didn't you add Dillian Whyte to this list or something like that. But this time around, I'm going to list about 10 to 15 fighters that I think will be announced with the expectation, that it will not be mind-blowing names like a bunch of Canelo, Triple Gs, Teofimo Lopez, things like that. While I will still have some big names in here, I've tried to focus on smaller names that aren't global phenomenons. While I have put some names still that I mentioned last time, I put one, or I think I put 3 in from last time, just because I feel like I had to say them again, because I generally do believe these guys are going to be announced either this episode or next one. But I will be trying to say some new fighters as well. And just real quick, this fucking was so difficult to make because I listed like 27 last time, and with like 110 or 15 fighters, whatever it is, already in the game, this was really difficult to narrow it down to a certain amount. And not only that, but in general, actually think of fighters that either aren't in the game or that I didn't say last time. So from the last video that I want to say again, I thought I'd get these 3 out of the way. These are ones that I mentioned in the last video that I wanted to say again, and that is Lennox Lewis at 41-2, Joe Calzaghe at 46-0, and Tim Tszyu. I've heard that his name is just pronounced Tim Tszyu, or is it Tim Tszyu? I think it's just Tim Tszyu apparently. I believe so anyways, at 18-0. I know people were very happy that I mentioned him, and I do genuinely believe he'll be in the game. But those are the 3 that I mentioned last, 3 of the 27 that I mentioned last time. But this time we're going to go on to some fighters that I haven't mentioned. I tried to mix it up with weight class, activity, legend status, things like that. So right off the list, I know you guys are going to be happy with this one. 31-2, Costa Tszyu. The father of Tim Tszyu. I feel like this had to be in here. I feel like this would be a great father-son combination to have both of these guys in the game. But Costa Tszyu especially, you know, the dude was a beast. And, you know, at 31-2, there's no disputing that. Then we move on to some more recent fighters. We've got Kell Brook at 39-3. You know, a fantastic fighter until, unfortunately, he ran into some fighters that were too good for him. Generally, like I said, a great fighter, someone I'd love to see in the game. Then we move up to the heavyweight division. The Haymaker, David Haye at 28-4. You know, UK's own. It'd be great to see another Brit. And I know we've already got tons of Brits, and I'm not disputing that. But David Haye is definitely one of those fighters that I think would kind of be iconic for the UK to have in this game. You know, he was in the Fight Night games as well, so it'd be great to see him in there as well. And we'd already have Caleb Plant, but this one is Caleb Truax, I think his name is pronounced. Truax. It looks like it's pronounced like Truax. And that is 31-5-2. Yeah, again, I don't know. There's some fighters, when I see them, I just have a feeling, you know. I just get a sense they're going to be in the game. I had that sense with Lennox Lewis, and I still do. I have that sense with Tim Tszyu, and I still do. And I have this sense with Caleb Truax that he's going to be in the game. I don't know what it is. I just feel, I don't know. I can't explain it. I just feel like he is going to be in the game. Next one is a little bit wishful thinking in a way. While I have lost a lot of respect for this man, I was a huge fan before, but I've lost a lot of respect of how he's acted recently, and that is Deontay Wilder at 42-1-1. Assuming he doesn't ask for too much money, I feel like that's something he would do, ask for like 10 million to be in the game or something stupid. I would like to see him as the addition, and I could see him being announced. Out of the top 5 heavyweights, I could definitely see him being the one to be announced, in all honesty. But like I said, assuming he doesn't ask for too much money, assuming he doesn't have too much pride, and while I have lost a lot of respect for him, I would still enjoy seeing him in this game. And we stay in the heavier divisions, in a sense, to someone that has fought someone who's in the roster. Obviously, we've got Lyndon Arthur, who was shown a lot in the movement gameplay. The person that I think could be announced is Anthony Yarde at 20-2. That could definitely be viable. You know, his last opponent is in the game. He's a great fighter. Had some really good fights. You know, he's only lost to Anthony Yarde. No, he is Anthony Yarde. He's only lost to Lyndon Arthur and Kovalev, I think. Don't quote me on it. I think that's the only people he's lost to. I think it is. I think Kovalev KO'd him. I'm pretty sure. But I could see that being possible. And then we've got 2 more. I'm going to save the most prospect one for last. So for this one, we've got Jamel Herring. Todd pretty much said it on Twitter. I'm pretty sure he actually said a tweet something like, signed to ESBC when Herring beat Frampton, I believe it was. Is it Frampton? Who did he beat recently? I can't think who he beat recently. But he retired somebody. I'm pretty sure it was Carl Frampton. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Anyways, you know, and yeah, Todd pretty much just said, signed to ESBC. I was like, Todd, you need to learn to keep your mouth shut. Like, I love Todd Grisham. He follows me on Instagram. I will brag about that until the end of my days. But he does love to spill the beans a little bit early. But all in all, I could see Jamel Herring definitely being in this game for sure. And then the final one that maybe not many of you have heard of is 3-0 George Davey. And while that may be a bit like, that's so out of the blue, why him? You know, like, I think the most novice we have in the game is David Adley, I want to say, at 5-0. And the reason I'm leaning towards George Davey at 3-0 is, one, because he's already in the TV fights, already at 3-0, which is very rare to be on the TV fights already, on the DAZN, on the Matchroom, whatever it may be, at 3-0. He also, his trainer is Henry Wharton, who is in ESports Boxing Club as a coach, I'm pretty sure. So that was just kind of when I thought of George Davey, I thought, well, let me have a look and, you know, to go on his Twitter and stuff, and, you know, relatively popular, you know, and then I saw that he was trained by Henry Wharton. I thought, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, that was my thought process behind that one. And then, as always, they seem to do one big star outside of the major announcement. So let's the major announcement that Todd Grisham said, let's put that to one side for a moment. Obviously, for me, that is like, you know, Canelo, someone like that, Triple G, someone like that. They tend to announce someone at the start of each of these fighter announcements. They done episode 2 was Lomachenko, episode 1 was Terence Crawford. And it seems to be one big fighter, but not Canelo big, just one huge fighter. So I think the 5 that I've picked for that would be, say at the start of episode 3 of the fighter announcement, I think will either be Devin Haney at 25-0, Triple G at 41-1-1, Teofimo Lopez at 16-0, Muhammad Ali at 56-5, or Iron Mike Tyson at 50-6. Those would have to be my guesses for like the starting announcement when they tend to do one big name. I do generally have a feeling about Lennox, Tim Tszyu, and Caleb Truax. I really just, I don't know, I just have a feeling about all of those. A lot of these, I could see myself being right with a lot of the episodes that I've made of this, but this is definitely one that I felt really confident about making, and I feel like I could be right with more than 2 of them this time. You know, I guessed 27 last time. I got 2 right. So I'm hoping with a guess of, I think 15 or 16, I'm hoping I get more than 2 right. So that's fingers crossed for me. But obviously it is tough because some of these, you know, fighters might not be in this episode, but they could be in the next one. So that's kind of where I get myself a bit tricky. But I wanted to kind of come up with some new names and some new people that could be in, you know, widen my odds, get you guys thinking about some fighters. Because these episodes are always so fun to go through the comments, so fun to read. Some of them are a bit basic, real basic bitch comments like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. But other than that, you got a lot of you guys seem to have a real like boxing insight and some fighters you'd really like to see that not many people have mentioned. Or everyone has the same common opinion where they like, oh, I'd love Mike Tyson or I'd love Teofimo Lopez, which is awesome because they're all fighters that are possible. Yeah, I just thought I'd make this video, just talk about it quickly, guys. So yeah, if you've enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe down below. Let me know who you think will be announced in episode 3 of the fighter announcement, which I assume there is one. That's my assumption. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.